Hello traders, good day to you all. This is Christopher Glen. Today is the 29th of August 2014. We're closing this month today, and we had several announcements earlier this morning. We had a mild announcement regarding the euro and a strong announcement regarding the Canadian dollar. I can tell you that we've received some liquidity to the market, but not significant one, and we're still waiting for an additional information coming out from the United States regarding the Chicago PMI report. It will happen in approximately an hour, so we'll just have to wait and see what will come from the dollar. But again, it's the end of the week. We've received a lot of liquidity during the entire weekly session. We had announcements regarding the dollar yesterday and other announcements regarding the German market in Europe. And earlier this week we had several good announcements on the euro, dollar and New Zealand at the beginning of the trading week. Again, it was a very liquidized week. Today is Friday, and we've got low amount of liquidity, expecting a lot of traders to pull funds from the market, by that slowing it down significantly. Let's go to the charts. So going back to the dollar index, we've been really analyzing this dollar index for a while. So indeed, we received the initial A wave of downtrend movement. Right now we can see the structure of a corrective pattern, and our assessment is to see a continuance of a downtrend movement toward the 82 level. This was the assessment earlier at the beginning of this week, and I'm still with the same mindset toward that target. Let's go to the Japanese yen currencies to see who's strong and who's weak. So we can say that the Canadian dollar gained a lot of strength out of the announcement. As we said, it received good indication, and the pound is among the strong currencies. So does the Swiss franc. The dollar is one of the strong currencies as well. New Zealand, euro, and even the Australian dollar are pretty strong. The Japanese yen is pretty weak in the market, and we can see that the gold is losing strength as well. Let's go see what's going on with the commodities. I've been talking about a weakness on behalf of the gold and silver. As we can see, indeed, we've received nice pullback after the announcement that we had earlier this week, and on the gold as well, nice pullback. At the moment, it can both form a corrective ABC or continue with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a beginning of a downtrend movement. Generally, because I'm expecting to see weakness on behalf of the dollar index, I'm still waiting to see some strength on behalf of the gold and the silver. But again, my assessment is that we will see stronger dollar in the markets for the next months. So and a downtrend movement logical on behalf of the gold and the silver. I remind you that I gave you some prediction for the gold dropping down toward the 1250 rate. There's still a potential to see that target reaching in terms of gold, and again the silver approximately the same potential below the 19,300 level. Let's go to the regular currencies that I like to analyze. Russian ruble, the Turkish, and the South African rand. Just as we were expecting to see, the South African rand indeed lost a lot of strength this week, and the Turkish as well. The South African rand formed an impulse movement corrective pattern, potential to see a continuance of a downtrend. The Russian ruble, because what's going on right now in the Ukraine, can see a lot of issues coming up in terms of geopolitical structures, and again we've basically crossed the last support and resistance line. I don't know if you remember, but I've been talking about this fluctuation level. I said that I'm expecting to see this fluctuation level around the support and resistance line, and then we should break this line. I was considering the probability of seeing downtrend movement before a strong liquidized uptrend movement, but eventually the market formed this clearer and cleaner impulse uptrend movement, and can definitely say that we're approaching and we're aiming toward a higher rate on this chart. But still, the dollar versus the Turkish revealed a very nice downtrend movement as expected. So does the dollar versus the South African rand. Looking at other currencies, I've been analyzing the dollar in front of the Australian dollar, Aussie versus the US dollar, and we've got a pretty nice pattern over here. Going into this structure specifically, let's go to a lower time frame. I want to show you the inner structure of this chart. Okay, so for our chart, you can say that we've received a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. That's an ABC of 4, and a fifth wave is expected to drop down. Now, we can see that the impulse movement 5 waves is overlapping 5 waves, so we might see this downtrend movement proceeding with a structure of a channel. Logical to see this chart falling down below this bottom channel line if we'll receive strong impulse downtrend movement over here. So there's a good probability of seeing this line breaking under this potential for downtrend movement on the Australian dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Looking at the daily chart, we've got still an indication for an uptrend movement, but again, this is an inner structure of the corrective pattern, therefore it's logical to see downtrend movement in this case. Another very important asset is the dollar versus the Canadian dollar. We've been talking about this uptrend potential for a while. Again, very nice uptrend potential since the indication was appearing over here. We've received 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 waves of an uptrend movement. Right now we're forming the corrective pattern. We've received a very strong liquidized downtrend movement over here, expressing both a bit of weakness on behalf of the dollar that we had this week, and both weakness on the dollar and strength on behalf of the Canadian dollar. So this downtrend movement is indeed logical in terms of announcement. We've got this first pullback. I do expect to see a bit more bouncing up and then crash down, and then continuance of an uptrend that will break the 1.12 area. Good potential to catch the dollar versus Canadian dollar, but let's try to make an assessment regarding the entry point for this trade. Going to add the Fibonacci retracement area. Okay, so we've got nice pullback potential toward the 61.8 level. We can even add a target. It's approximately this area. That is my target. So between the 61.8 to the 72 level, that's a great pullback to catch this uptrend movement. 1074, a nice uptrend potential again to cross the last peak at the dollar versus the Canadian dollar, 1.12. That's the last peak that we had earlier this year. And a nice potential for an uptrend movement again, just to see that this corrective pattern is forming an ABC full structure, and then we will be able to feel more comfortable taking this uptrend potential. Traders, I'd like to wish you all the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye bye.